Calcium is a really important mineral in our bodies, but what exactly does it do? Let's have a quick look. The first thing, and most people are aware of this, is that calcium maintains our strong bones and teeth. And in fact, most of the calcium in our bodies is stored in our bones and teeth, although there are smaller amounts in our tissues and in our blood where it's being transported around to be used by the body in the various functions it's involved in. Calcium ions are also needed in the contraction of muscles and also with the transmission of nerve impulses from the brain to the various parts of the body. Whenever you cut yourself, your blood platelets form a clot to stop the blood from flowing out and you bleeding to death. And calcium is involved in this together with vitamin K and a protein called fibrinogen. And if you don't have enough calcium, then obviously it will take longer for your blood to clot. Now, in every cell of your body we've got enzymes which help to speed up chemical reactions, and in many cases calcium is involved in the activation of those enzymes. Calcium is also involved in the hormonal regulation in your body, and if we look at insulin as an example, I'm sure you're aware that insulin is involved in the blood glucose regulation in your blood. Now, insulin is made in the beta cells of the pancreas, and these beta cells are producing insulin all the time, but your body doesn't need it all of the time. But it's calcium that causes this insulin to be released as and when the blood sugar levels rise. Another function of calcium is to regulate the tone of the muscles and the flexibility of the blood vessels in your body and the blood pressure of the blood flowing through those blood vessels. And in fact, there is a correlation between the amount of calcium in your diet and the number of people who have high blood pressure. If people get enough calcium, then they tend to have lower blood pressure. And calcium also has an important role to play in your immune system. Before we look at the good sources of calcium in your diet, there's one thing I should just mention, and that is that calcium has a very important relationship with vitamin D. In fact, vitamin D is absolutely critical for the regulation of calcium in your bloodstream. And if you don't have enough active vitamin D, then your intestines won't be able to absorb the calcium even if it is in your diet. So you do need to make sure that you're not deficient in vitamin D as well to make the best use of calcium. Now, with that said, let's have a look at some of the fruit and vegetables to see where you can get your calcium in a healthy way without having to resort to calcium supplements. As you can see from this diagram, we've got lots of green vegetables. We've got watercress, dandelion greens, we've got parsley, spinach, broccoli, kale, celery, beetroot greens, the leaves on those, and we've also got oranges and carrots. So there's plenty of sources of calcium without having to resort to dairy products.